Alright guys, welcome back to the next episode of The Average Garage. As you would have seen, it's been on the dyno. We had a couple of issues. Today I'm going to run through the issue that we had, how I fixed it, or I think I fixed it, and we're going to service the car, get all the running oil out, all that sort of stuff out of it, and pretty much move on with our lives. Anyways, let's jump into it. Alright, we're under the car, we've got the 15mm on a sump plug, and we're just going to crack this off and drain the oil out. Oh, look at that. Beautiful. I thought there was metal, but it's a piece of like flake of skin on my finger that was making it reflective. My hands are not good, man. Oh, dude, I didn't realise I bought a family with me. So this one's got eggs.
What have you done?
You destroyed a family, apparently.
You're a monster.
Yeah. So we've got some HPR 10,
Nope.
1050. We're gonna fill this bad boy. Alright guys, so the service is done. I've changed the oil and filter in the barrel, which you can see just behind me there. So it's got brand new fresh HPR 10 Penrite oil in it. New filter obviously, and I've run it up, checked the level, all that sort of stuff. So yeah, it's quietened the rattle down a little bit. I wouldn't say completely, but yeah, I don't know. It's probably chain or lifters, or it's probably lifters. That's what I'm guessing, but you know. Anyways, so to move on, I'm just doing a little bit of fault finding. So obviously we had the big misfire / idling issue on the dyno. Now that did come down to a wiring issue, so I was able to chat to obviously the legendary Bill Hooton. He helped me diagnose it. We went through some of the wiring in the car. I was testing and probing and doing some other stuff, and yeah, seemed that we probably have it sorted as far as that issue. I also have an issue with the shifter. I lost my Tiptronic, so I still have park neutral, reverse drive, all that sort of stuff, but I don't have Tiptronic at the moment, and it seems I might have a short in the wiring somewhere, so I'll have to go back through all that and check that out. So that's just a bit of an update of what happened. The episode, it's probably looking like it's going to be about half hour long. I'm still editing it now, but yeah, I just thought I'd give you some insight. It's a bit of a sort of strange outcome. My anxiety was in mega overdrive during the whole day. Obviously a lot revolves around that engine running properly, and I built it all myself in the garage. Obviously had some help along the way, so thank you to everybody who did help out. But yeah, there was a lot riding on it. My anxiety levels were just through the roof, so I wasn't really concentrated on filming or anything like that. I was more so in overdrive of making sure everything goes as well as it can. So yeah, hopefully it came out okay, but yeah, that's just a little insight as to what happened and why the episode might be a little bit shonky, as with the rest of them. But yeah, anyways, service is done. So just going through the last bit of fault finding now, and then there's a few things to touch up on the car, and we'll get to that, and then next episode we'll probably start cutting the sills out and trying to patch them up. So wish us luck, and yeah, let's get into the rest of this. Alright folks, so I've just spent the last sort of, I don't know, couple of afternoons diagnosing the shifter fault. So thank you very much again to Bill and Nigel. You guys have been an absolute astonishing help as always. I really do appreciate these guys, and they are invaluable to pretty much the Barra community. So, if you just take a bo peep in the car, you'll see I've got multimeter, scan tool, wires everywhere. Yeah, it was a bit of a nightmare, but we got through it in the end. So, mainly a nightmare for me. Yeah, but Turns out I did a dumb and I wired it up wrong. So what happened is I had the shifter wired up wrong. It's supposed to have 1 ground going in and 3 grounds coming out. I had 1 ground going in, and where one of the grounds was supposed to come out, I had 12 volts going in. So it created a short circuit inside the shifter. This in turn actually popped, or like the PCB or the printed circuit board inside the shifter actually acted like a fuse, and where one of the printed bits was, like the copper, actually popped. So it acted like a fuse, which is good and bad in a way. It was bad because I had to pull all the shifter apart, but it was also good because it didn't destroy anything else like the gearbox or the loom, the ECU, all that sort of stuff. So I'm super thankful for that. And yeah, like I said, it's my own fault. I just should have double checked things, triple checked things, and I didn't. So sort of bit me in the butt, but that's how it is with these project cars. So yeah, I fixed that up, stripped the shifter down completely, got to the printed circuit board, made a little jump wire because I was lucky enough to be able to do that. I might chuck a photo up now. But yeah, that's all what I did. So the shifter part's sorted. I now have my Tiptronic again. The engine issues are, I'm going to say they're sorted. That was another wiring fault that I had. So yeah, double and triple check all of your wiring and save yourself the headache. But yeah, thank you very much again to Bill and Nigel for helping me sort those faults out. You've seen we serviced the car. So yeah, there's a few little things I still want to touch up. So coming over to the engine bay, obviously I've got this bleeder that I made up before. That's because that's a high point in the radiator. So because that's a high point, obviously it's not going to bleed itself. But I will look at getting, because this bottle is a bit crummy, I have blue coolant in there at the moment just because wank factor. But because that bottle's crummy and I'm going to get a new one, I'll probably get one of the clear white ones so you can actually see the blue coolant. But I'll get the BABF style, which has the 2 ports, and I will eventually chuck a barbed fitting in that and run a second hose all the way around into the bottle. That will avoid any potential air pockets in the system because the air is always going to work its way to the highest point. And yeah, it will work its way up to here, and then I will be able to it'll just self-bleed into the cooling reservoir. So apart from that, we've got one more job to do that I'm aware of that I can remember right now. And I do need to make a little bracket or a stay that goes from this intake pipe here to the wheel well. That's just to make sure that the pod filter can't move around, and that will keep the engineer happy. So I started doing a bit of a list of what we've got to do. I've got to do a bolt check on the entire car. There is a small leak at the trans cooler lines, and there's a small oil leak at the turbo. Now, the small oil leak at the turbo, I believe it must be weeping out of the feed fitting. So I'm going to make sure, I'm going to go over that, tighten it all up, and chuck some degreaser on it now that it's cool, and make sure I can get it all clean to see where it's coming from. So for the trans lines, I'm going to have to borrow my mate's spanners again because he has the proper soft spanners that don't mark the AN fittings, because I don't want to chew them up and have them look terrible. So yeah, I will endeavour to borrow them, and what else? Yeah, tighten that up, make sure it's all good. And then yeah, we can start cutting the sills out and getting ready for the rust repair. So that's all we've got for now. I'll run you through the sills in a little bit. Excuse me, young boy. Could you please stop interrupting my videos? Please? Thank you. Alright, so I'm not sure where I left off, but I've just popped down to Repco and grabbed the cheapest, nastiest slider, hammer, dent puller set that I can find. So what I'm going to try and do is pull this section of the sills down and straight. So if I have to weld something to here to be able to pull down, I will. Like a link of chain or something like that. We'll figure it out as we go. Anyways, it's pretty creased, so might be able to see it there. But yeah. I'm new to all this stuff. I've never really done it before, so I'm pretty much winging it and learning as I go. I have got a little bit of advice as far as the outer sills, but we'll get to them later. I just want to sort this out first, because if I can't sort this out, I've got to cut 3 layers of steel and pretty much replace 3 layers worth of steel, which I don't really want to do. So anyways, yeah, let's see how we go, I suppose. Hope for the best. Alright, so I got the welder out, and I'm attempting my own spot puller. So I've just tacked a piece of stainless rod up there, and I made this little adapter from the kit. So this is part of one of the pullers, and then I've just welded 2 nuts to it. Obviously my welds aren't great, but it's good enough. So that is going to screw on up here. Like that. I've skinned all my knuckles on the frame already, but yeah, now I can bend that down a fraction, put the puller on it, or the slide hammer, and start trying to pull this center section out, and then I'll worry about the sides. Or maybe I should work from the outside in, I'm not sure. Either way, this is how I'm going to do it. Right, so the camera died, but I'm beyond the point of no return. That was obviously already bad, but the more I hack at this car, the more falls out. But yeah, we already know that needs to be replaced, so that's not drama. However, you'll notice in here, I've air chiseled this all apart because I tried to weld bits on the inside here and pull it all straight again. It kind of worked, but it didn't really. A lot of the material is pretty thin. You can see the welds have pulled through a bit. So yeah, it didn't go as well as I'd planned, but you can see, especially where the light's touching, that material is just thin as. It's all rusted away. You can really see up through there. So I've air chiseled out the bottom of the bad part, I suppose. So that's like the worst of it as far as the bottom. The top up there obviously is much different. So yeah, the bottom part here is pretty much toast. So I've got spare sill panels off another car that are in a bit better nick, and if I replace this bottom part, it should, although this isn't the correct way to do it, it should help me get rid of all this dented crap. So what I'm going to do is, if I can get the light to stay up here, maybe. So what I'm going to do, or my plan so far, is I'm going to cut up along here like that. That stuff there seems to be okay. It's a little rusty, but that's passable in my eyes. So yeah, cut up, say that line there, across there, down here, and then that should give me access to get to the structure panel behind it. And then with just the structure panel and this back piece, I should be able to fairly well straighten that up, because the structure panel actually has holes all the way through it, so I'll be able to hit that other piece from behind. So yeah, that's the plan for now. Like I said, I'm past the point of no return. I tried some bits here and it didn't quite work, but there is just so much rust and sand in there. The sand is obviously what holds the water, which makes it rust out, but yeah, that's probably going to be tomorrow's job. I don't know if I'm going to tackle that today, but yeah, it's getting a bit late, so we'll see how we go. But yeah, I'm going to start cutting. Alright, so quick update. I've just started drilling out these spot welds. So what I'm going to do is quickly clean up all of this rust that has fallen out. Well, it's dirt and rust. But yeah, I'm going to clean all that up, give myself a nice clean start and work environment, and then continue with this monstrosity. So I've started pulling the outer panel away from the inner and, or the two inner panels really. So yeah, I started just pre-drilling the spot drills, and then I'm going to put the spot drill bit on it and see if I can't separate them as much as I possibly can. And once they're all separated, I'll cut this section out. Alright guys, so like I said before, I'm learning a lot as I go, so I'm going to quickly show you what I'm up to now. So currently I've got a piece of 20x20 RHS sort of clamped to the side along the good parts of the sill. This gives me sort of a guideline as to how low the sill should sit on that RHS, as well as keeping it straight. So I've managed to panel beat out pretty much as much of it as I can, so it's pretty flat. I think if I was to tack all this in place now, which I'll start doing probably tomorrow, if I was to tack it all in place now and then give it a coat of the underbody coating, I don't think you'd be able to tell too much. You'd be able to see that it's copped a little bit of a hammerwork, but I don't think you'd be able to see the extent of how bad it used to be. So I think I've done a pretty good job. I've got some holes to fill up, obviously, from when I was trying to pull everything straight. But yeah, I think with a little bit more work, this should be pretty much done. If I need to put a skim of bog on it, just like a really thin skim just to make it look a bit better, then I might do that as well. But yeah, we'll see how we go. I've got a patch just above those vice grips. There's a rust hole there. I've got to cut out and patch that as well. But yeah, I'm learning a lot as I go, and it's only going to get better. So yeah, let's keep seeing how we go. Alright, so quick update. I've cut this panel out because it was a bit of a dodgy part. I've still got plenty more to do. But yeah, this section's cut out, and I've got the repair section to go in it, which is over there on the bench somewhere. So what I'm going to do is hold it up and just tack it in a couple of spots. Now, I don't know how much you guys know about bodywork. I know bugger all, but I know a few little things. But yeah, obviously you don't bead weld it. There's lots of little tacks. So yeah, I'm going to hold it up there, clamp it in certain spots, probably along the sill rail, tack it in place, and then fill it with lots of little tacks over time. So let's see how we go. Alright folks, we've reached the 20-minute mark of the video, so instead of making this video 40 minutes long, I thought I'd end it now, and we will continue it next week. However, if there is an uproar in the comments, I might upload part 2 early, but yeah, we'll see how we go. Anyways, thank you very much for watching part 1. Please don't forget to like, comment, subscribe. Be sure to stick around for part 2. There is a hell of a lot more that's obviously going on. So yeah, thank you very much, and we'll see you part 2 and any other videos. If you haven't watched all the videos on the channel, please head down and yeah, make sure you subscribe, check out all the videos, check out the fun stuff. There's a heap more coming. So yeah, thank you very much guys. See you then.